Welcome to the bold analysis. I want to start first by sending this message that drivers in the road, we need to be very careful, because just within a span of 1 week, we lost students from Kapsabet Boys road accident. Yesterday, 11 Kenyatta University medical students were linked to Mombasa. Oyos also lost due to an accident. Today, there is also another accident in the other side of Migori. I don't know what's happening in our country, and people really need to be much careful on this, because there seems to be a spirit in our roads. Now, let us look at this critical development I have been watching since Tuesday morning. Tuesday, for those who have been following politics, or rather those who have been following media patterns in this country, Tuesday is the official propaganda day for Kenya Kwanza, and I will tell you why. If you check this screenshot, there are two hashtags there I wanted to point out. One is Kalonzo to defect, and number 2, Kikuyu's Kwisha. Those two hashtags that are trending have been sponsored by pro-government bloggers. The details of that is what I want us to look at here. Two bloggers today, I woke up at around 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. And the first story that popped up in my Twitter was Kalonzo defecting to Kenya Kwanza. It was very early in the morning. And I want you to, and you know, according to the crafters of that narrative, they were saying that he's supposed to join Kenya Kwanza and be handed 2 cabinet slots to Kambani. And perhaps he's going to take over the foreign affairs docket from Musalia Mudavadi. And I said that was hogwash. So, if you want to know that this was a well choreographed narrative, I want to show you some screenshots here, and I want you to look at the constant pattern. They used this headline here. This headline is reading, Kalonzo to join Kenya Kwanza. That is, what is the headline? This is a fake story that has been created by these bloggers. And you can see my government free copy of the Star Megov. So this is a fake headline that was, and it was dispatched, it was patched there today. The real headline for today's Star is reading, White Trouble Looms for Feeding Governors and DGs, Deputy Governor. This is the real headline of the Star today. But the State House mandarins worked with that fake narrative that Kalonzo Musyoka is going to join Kenya Kwanza. It was a fake headline. And what has really caught my attention here is they used the Star, because there is another feature for the Star known as corridors of power. They even used corridors of power and created this story that you're seeing there reading. It will seem that it is handshake season. A bird close to State House has intimated that a senior opposition figure from Cumberland will soon join government. A senior woman, senator from Rift Valley, was given the task of luring the Kamba leader. It is said her brief has blessings from highest office in the land, and in the soon to be revealed deal, the Kamba leader will be made foreign minister and have 2 cabinet slots. Even if it is a gossip, how do you say a gossip and put the photo of Kalonzo there? So that is another, and there is another feature that was used to push that narrative. So I want us to make some good observation. In fact, apart from that, they also used, there was also another one that was done by the Star. There is another one that was also faked by the Standard saying, Murade, Kambas can never lead Kenya. Now this headline is, I wanted I'll show you that headline later because I think it's coming down here. Now, why do you think they chose the Star? Why the Star? So let me explain. Every Tuesday, Star distributes free copies because they got a deal under to distribute my government, free copies of my government, which is a pullout that explains government agendas. So every Tuesday, you cannot find the Star in these streets. So that is why they used it, because they know very well that Kenyans might see this headline in the phones, in these Twitter pages, and they might see it trending. And if you're not so much keen on reading newspapers, if you walk in those streets, the Kenyans working in the offices will be able to know, because these newspapers are almost in police stations, in hospitals, and government offices. But these fellows that do read newspaper headlines in streets of Nairobi might not be able to discern the truth, to differentiate between the fake one and the new one. And they used it on Tuesday because they know that circulation on Tuesday is suppressed to specific government installations. So they used it intentionally. And this is normally a government machinery, because there are so many exclusive stories that do come when that is actually coming up. Now, I'm taking keen interest in the newspaper because these stories, the crafters wanted us to show us something. Number one, they wanted to show us that William Ruto is getting the support of all the leaders. And number two, they also wanted to communicate that Kalonzo Musyoka is not viable to lead the country. Now that is well captured in another fake headline that was captured by the Standard. If you check this, Murathe to Kambas can never lead Kenya. Now this one is fake. The real headline for Standard today is not reading that. So they're saying that Murathe said Kambas can never lead Kenya, to show that Kalonzo Musyoka can never lead the country. That came, they also did a fake one by, there was just another fake one by Jeremiah Kioni Kalonzo having night meeting with State House operative. You know, all this was choreographed by Mandarins to show that, number one, Kalonzo cannot be president, of course. Number two, is also to show us of a Kikuyu betrayal. And that was all captured by this screenshot here. They came up with what they called some pentagon. You know, if you look at this pentagon, it had Ruto, Raila, Mudavadi, Joho, and Kalonzo. So without Kikuyus in it. So you see, I want to tell you here, it's happening at a time when there is some succession politics in ODM. And I think Joho mentioned something about this succession yesterday. Now, that aside, Kenya Kwanza wanted to achieve these objectives, that Kikuyus are sidelined, and number two, that President Ruto is loved, is getting acceptance by all. Do you know why? I want to tell you. That story of heckling in Rift Valley had really sent shockwaves and panic. And the whole country, having learned, in fact, they just realized that reacting and the move by Kidiki to go to purport to be banning hecklers, I've seen today they are purporting to arresting others, they themselves, the political, magnified that heckling in Rift Valley. So the country actually got wind of a good narrative that Ruto is being heckled in his backyard. And remember, yesterday I analyzed about this and I told you that heckling only translates to something very simple. It translates to the presidential stature is not welcomed by all. So this, I think the intelligence guys and Ruto's handlers realized the country is getting, the country is getting this new message that Ruto is heckled at home, and it's a pointer of him getting rejected. Number 2, today, this Tuesday, William Ruto signed the affordable housing bill into law. This is one of the most hated bill in this country by the middle class. And I will analyze about that later. So, they knew very well that there will be some more narrative around it, and it is hated by all. So they're trying to find ways to divert the attention of the country from those two events. One is the heckling that is painting the image of the president as the president who is hated and rejected across the country, being that is being rejected from home. So that is why you need to capture people, and that we've brought everyone together. And they decided to use this propaganda tool. I am not shocked, because this is a tool that is used quite often. I have tried to get Pauline, part of Kalonzo Musyoka's secretariat team, and they're yet to respond. But what I can exclusively confirm to viewers here is that Kalonzo Musyoka's handlers, because I shared this, I think I shared this to some 2 or 3 people, they're equally shocked about it, and they are distancing themselves from this. Now, question, who has the proof of burden? I know that the Star have an active fact-checking desk that is working with Code for Africa. This story started as early as 6 a.m. It is also hurting the image of the newspaper. They are yet to flag that headline as fake. Why? They are yet to flag that headline as fake. They did not flag that headline. So that is why I'm telling you that everything is happening here as planned. Why do you think the State House wanted to dissuade the public from affordable housing and president's heckling in Rift Valley? That was the objective. It has nothing to do with Kalonzo's presidency or Kalonzo going to government or Kalonzo's defection. If you check Twitter, Kalonzo to defect is now trending at number 2. The deal there is just to project that, is getting some support. There is something where they're dissuading the public from the public debate on heckling and affordable housing. Number 1, this propaganda is meant to appeal to William Ruto's UDA fan base that he is getting acceptability. This is it. The country and all of us are asking, why is it that Central Kenya and Rift Valley are protesting? Now, what they then show us is, I want you to think typically, someone in Loitoktok, West Pokot, huko Wasingishu, huko ndani get with some information, some fake news that Kalonzo has defected to Kenya Kwanza. And this is systematic, because from what I'm seeing here, it has been circulated in other Facebook pages that belonging to where Kalenjins are dominated. So they want to appeal to them, and it's part of that strategy, because they realize that, people are not feeling the president. People are not feeling William Ruto. They want to tell those people there that William Ruto is accepted across the country. Number 2, the Mount Kenya betrayal card is targeting anti-Rigathi battalion. There are people and Kenyans in this country that do not have a strong venom against William Ruto's power, but they have a problem with Rigathi Gachagua. Because whenever Rigathi Gachagua speaks, he seems to be spitting more vengeful and hate messages between Ruto and the people. So someone just want to appease, people think that if you tell that Rigathi Gachagua has been now sidelined, so the audience, some part of the population will be happy. Number 3, I think there is also a bid to shape the narrative of Kalonzo. Ruto is lacking a competitor. That's what it is. Because if you check the headline by the Standard, that's what it is saying, that Maratha is saying Kamba cannot lead, to show that they're already disqualifying Kalonzo. And probably they knew what maybe Kalonzo, they knew very well that Kalonzo would give maybe a reaction, and the Azimio team will react to the president's heckling and even the affordable housing bill that is signed. Now, and lastly, they wanted to manage the harsh hostility that housing levy is receiving. However, there is a very big warning that I think the team sitting at the Star should be wary of. That media outlet is suffering more damage by being seen as a tool running propaganda schemes. Oh, I'm not their marketing manager. I'm not even a manager. I'm not an editor. I'm not associated. But it's hurting, and it's hurting the image of the paper, and also it's also killing the credibility of the print media. Let me tell you, if there is one of the most credible media outlet or media product, that is the print. The print people have the whole day to edit, to make calls, to fact check, and the article has to go through a line of almost 5 or 4 editors before it gets to be published. So the kind of fact checking and meticulous editing and gatekeeping in print media. I have worked in media. If you check the chain in the radio, it comes from the reporter. You report to your special editor. For example, if you're political, you need to take it to that political desk, or if you do health, you take it to health. Then from there, it gets to the editor. From the editor, inasomwa. Same to TV. Reporter, special editor on the desk, probably if it is desk of health, sports or so. From there, the main editor, there it goes. Now let me tell you, for print, hey, print there is a stream, there is a chain of gatekeepers. Before story toke kwa reporter, until you see it in the paper the next day, there is a chain of gatekeepers. And that is why I think even the media should be very wary of this. Because in real sense, the Star has nothing to lose. One of the biggest advertisers in media is government. Government has directed all their adverts to KBC, and then all the print is supposed to go to the Star. So the rest have to adopt audience-based marketing, where they dangle with the numbers. I have X numbers, give me how much, and place your advert. So as much as the Star might die, it might still be used for propaganda schemes, but it might not die because it's getting the funding and the support from government. How about the others? So that is why I think the people in the stakeholders in this space must rise above and try to suppress the new scheme that is emerged of print media being used as the modern propaganda tool. I think it's something they must work on. I've been seeing this trend. It's not just today. Even last week there was another fake headline by the Star, and it's been going on. So I think probably people need to be wary of this. Thank you, guys.